welcome to Illusion Fox Gaming. Today we are doing the Endwalker quest Shadowed Pass. Something has this Radiant Scout unnerved. You couldn't have appeared at a better time. You see, while patrolling the city, I chanced to sight a void scent. That's not good. I made a chase it down with the intent of eliminating, but something about it struck me as odd. For one, it made no move to defend itself, but simply sat there, jiggling? So against my better judgment, I decided to capture it instead. I'm trapped to the void. I dare say you have considerable knowledge of its citizens. If you have a moment, might I trouble you for your opinion on the creature's unusual behavior? I'm truly grateful now. If you would follow me, the creature is being held in the Hall of the Radiant Host. Okay, well let's go see what's up with this thing. Here it is! Surprisingly docile even when I captured it, and there have been no reports of attacks prior to that. Even so, it's the nature of the void to prey on people for their ether. Perhaps it bides its time waiting to carry out some manner of scheme? You! I remember you. Yes, you are at Troya. Please, you must help me. Indeed I was, but I've since fled here. I understand the mortal tongue well enough, but I don't have a mouth to produce the sounds. I struggle to convey my thoughts. But not anymore. You can help me. Yes, you can. You can converse with the void scent? Amazing. Could you ask why it came here? When you and yours stormed the castle, I was caught up in the fighting and died. In time I returned, but I tired of fighting, so I fled using the gate to your world. Having just been reborn, however, my essence hasn't fully bound together yet, and so, when I emerged from the gate, it was as several sundered selves. Frightened and confused, they scattered, following their trail led me here, my diminutive size allowing me to remain largely unseen. But by the same token, I can do little more than sneak about. Each of us was weak and powerless. That's why we consumed one another in the first place. Together we were strong. I want you to help me find all of me so that I can be whole again. Yes, I would. To be whole again and live in this world, I would strike 1,000 bargains. We still remember the past, you see. Still remember when we were mortals. We long to have that life again, but we need your help, starting by reuniting us. We won't try to devour anyone, even when we're whole, I swear. You wish to learn more about the Void, yes? There is much we can teach you about those who rule its domains, about their past. Find the others and they'll tell you all they know. No eating, no tricks. Do we have a bargain? So it crossed over to our world to escape conflict and now searches for the rest of itself? I understand Voidsen are quite reliable when it comes to fulfilling a pact, and I dare say having one as an ally would benefit our research into their world. Very well, if you'd be so kind as to search for its kin, I will consult my superiors on how best to deal with them. By that, I take it we have a bargain? Good, good. I sense 4 others close by. When you find them, you need only point them in this direction. Once they sense my presence, I can guide them the rest of the way. What's that? I asked you to search for me in exchange for knowledge about powerful void scent? I was still wanting to see this and that, but I suppose a deal is a deal. Those men over there, soldiers, are they not? We used to have soldiers in our world too. There were lots of them during the Counter Memoria. Back from Weaver's warding, are you? I hear you fought well against the void scent that slipped through. Come now, I merely did my duty. Haven't we all sworn to protect our nation no matter the cost? Protect our nation. How familiar are those words? Where was it that I heard them? Ah, yes, it was the early days of the Contra Memoria. The enemy had conjured a terrible eidolon that laid siege to a fortress. The garrison was made up of ordinary soldiers, men and women with no remarkable abilities. But led by their valiant commander, they fought bravely and desperately. They had to last until the Memoriat arrived. The commander told them the need to hold out no matter the cost. A Memoriat did eventually arrive, but not soon enough for those soldiers. Having struck down the Eidolon, the Memoriat and its servants searched the castle for survivors. They found only the dead. Just when they had given up all hope, a faint groaning reached their ears. They rushed over to the sound and cleared away debris. To find a lone survivor, the garrison commander. Instead of joy, however, the sight of the man filled them with anger. Your soldiers are slaughtered to man, yet there's barely a scratch on you. What's the meaning of this? The Eidolon was savage but mindless. It was a simple thing to hide myself beneath fallen debris. Hide? As commander, you had a duty to your men. You were supposed to put their lives before your own. Serve me. My duty was to ensure the fortress stood, and it did. Besides, my death would have achieved nothing. Honor be damned. No, I'm sworn to protect our nation. To do that, I must live. It isn't my fate to fall here. It isn't your fate, you say. Is he merely unconscious? Come, let us bury the soldiers, and their commander with them. Fate shall decide what becomes of him, whether he lives or dies. Very well, my lord. Funeral rites were later held for the fallen, but solemn tears quickly gave way to horrified screams as a body emerged from the earth. The commander. I can't die. I must live, the man is said to have declared. People thought him a demon, a disheveled horror muttering curses as he wandered off to regions unknown. Scarmiglione, they called him, a name befitting his newfound grisly visage. A name befitting a monster. We thought we buried him deep, but a mortal's desire to live is not to be underestimated. You're immortal, so I expect you to understand that desire. Well, that concludes my tale. I'd best rejoin myself, if you'll excuse me. Well, that's one. Wait, wrong way. Wrong direction. So this is where mortals consume ether. Well, we just call it food here, but... Dreading loneliness more than hunger? How very like me. If you don't mind, though, I'd like to observe the mortals a while longer. Food here is simply sublime. Why, I feel stronger with every bite, as if the Mirga themselves were granting me their blessing. The food is tasty, that's true enough, but no food is so sublime as to be a substitute for proper training, my friend. Stronger with every bite, every feed. My part of the bargain, I will tell you about how we Voidsent became strong. Simply put, it depends on the quality and quantity of ether we harbor. When this world was consumed by darkness, the heroes known as the Memoriates arose as powerful Voidsent. In contrast, the vast majority of mortals, powerless and unremarkable as they were, became ordinary Voidsent, like me. There were exceptions, of course, but one in particular I'll never forget. Scarmiglione never had I seen a Voidsent so craven. Even when pushed to the brink of starvation, he would prey only on those weaker than himself. He subsisted on scant leavings and lived in constant fear and hunger. In the face of danger, a Voidsent stronger than himself, fleeing was the only option. But day came when he found his way barred. How pitiful. This is such an overwhelming ether. Who is this? You fled instead of facing your foe? Why? Why? I'm too weak. Why else? I would have been devoured. So, had you enough strength, you would have stood your ground? Very well then. What's happening? Yes, I feel it. The power's swelling within me. Lo, your foe returns. What have you done to me? I granted you but a sliver of ether. 'Twas with the power you already possessed that you defeated your foe. I possessed such power? Fear had clouded your eyes, blinded you to the strength you had attained, feeding on the weak. If you had freed yourself from fear, then join me. You shall have a greater cause to live for, and know true power. Curious how in a world without death, the fear of it could be the key to great strength. The knight recognized this, recognized the Voidsent's potential, and thus did he take him into his service. Determined as he is to live, it wouldn't surprise me if he were still somewhere out there. He'd be even more powerful now, except for all the devouring he would have done since. Like your world, eating actually makes you stronger in ours. Well, I must be going now. The others are waiting. So this entire questline seems to be revolving around learning the past of Scarmiglione. Wonder if there's a quest after this for the other three. I'd say there probably is, but my other self grows lonely, you say? My apologies. It was my intent to seek out the others, but I was distracted by the bickering pair of mortals yonder. My goodness, but there's been some colorful language. Dale's with your father. You shouldn't need his permission just to leave the God's damned house. Please, mind your language. What would father say if he were to hear you? It's always father this, father that with you. I'm sick of it. You're your own woman now. Bloody act like one for a change. Colorful language, yes. Not from the girl, though. Oh no, she appears to be quite well bred. I just hope she's happier than a girl I knew long, long ago. That girl was born into the family of thugs who suddenly found themselves nobility. She was raised as a noble woman and had servants tending to her every need. At the end, she was merely a beautiful bird kept in a gilded cage. Wanting her to be a proper lady, her parents presided over all aspects of her life. They decided everything for her, telling her what to say and do. Shaving from the fetters of her restrictive life, she solicited her handmaiden's aid and stole outside the manor. First, she enjoyed a moment of bliss unbeknownst to her parents, or so she thought. It was not long before her father dragged her back to her room, barring the door and windows, denying her even the simplest pleasure of an afternoon breeze. Even a bird in a cage may chirp freely, but she wasn't even suffered to give voice to her desires. But she wouldn't be deterred. Having once tasted sweet freedom, she yearned for more, and one day she succeeded in sneaking out of the manor a second time. Don't like how they're reusing assets from other areas. You're late. I was beginning to think you wouldn't come. That weren't from the old Void world, but are actually just actual locations that you can go and find in others, in areas that we've been to throughout the story. If you're expecting your friends, I'm afraid they are not coming. But Father, how did you... What do you mean they're not coming? I know that some miscreants were cavorting in these parts, but to think they dare try to consort with my daughter. Well, you needn't worry about them anymore. They're food for the fishes now. How can you do this, Father? Why must you torment me so? Know your place, girl. You are a means for our family to gain influence, and I won't have you sullying yourself with riffraff. You will not leave your chambers save with my permission, nor will you disobey me again. If you do so, there will be severe consequences. Am I understood? I said, am I understood? Oh, I think she understands. I don't think you're going to like the outcome to your demand, though. To hell. What did you say? I said, go to hell. Oh, to think that it could be so exhilarating to speak my mind. To do as I please. No more living in a cage. From this moment on, I am free. Free as the wind. The woman struck out on her own, and her travels discovered her true calling. Not in the halls of lords and ladies, but on the battlefield. She became a force of nature, famed for her striking beauty which belied a terrible savagery. And with this new life, she also claimed a new name, Barbara Sia. Indeed, she found her freedom, but did she also find happiness, I wonder? I suppose I'll never know, nor does it matter, for the world that once was is no more. Oh, but goodness me, I had better rejoin the others. Okay, so I guess it's not all about Scarmiglione. But if Scarmiglione got 2, then probably Barbarossa got 2. Just taking a wild guess there, but and I could be wrong. Ah, what a refreshing breeze. To return to the others? Bah, they should come here. You look at this beautiful, boundless sky. Why don't stick the air from here? Do they not? Would I had wings to soar among the clouds myself. But we Voidsent are not wont to roam, as you see. The mightiest among us carve out domains, while the rest labor to stay in their good graces. Now the master of a domain seldom ventures outside, for it is in one's territory that one is strongest. For some, however, such confinement proved trying, as was the case for a certain Voidsent I knew. I speak of the free-spirited terror Barbaricia. When she first established her domain, she whiled away the days waiting for her minions to bring her prey. The ether amassed from these offerings were devoted to the singular pleasure of caring for her silky flowing locks. But the resources of her domain were not without their limits. It was only when none remained to oppose her that she realized she was a prisoner in her own domain. And unless she broke free, she would inevitably wither away alone. Not knowing what to do, she had fallen into the depths of despair when the hand of salvation came to pull her out. At this rate, my precious hair will frazzle and fray, had I only the strength to leave my domain. If strength is your desire, that is easily granted. Who are you? So much power surging through me. What will you do with it? What is it you desire? What I desire? What I desire is... You would move your very domain. Impressive. I can do such a thing. What have you done to me? I grant you ether, nothing more. It was your will that made it possible. My will? Even so, no matter where you should go, there is naught but darkness. What could your destination possibly be? Destination? I have no need of such. I wish but to be free, like the wind. In a world that has met its end, rare indeed is the soul who desires freedom so ardently that she could will her very domain to move. Recognizing this quality, the knight would grant her more power and a place of command in his mighty army. A story worthy of our bargain, I trust. I might have had more to tell had I not fallen off her domain. Since you mortals also have a fondness for flying, I'd certainly like to try riding one of these airships of yours. Or perhaps another time. My other selves will be a blubbering mess if I don't hurry and rejoin them. Thank you so much for finding me. I hope the knowledge I had to share was worthy of our agreement. My other selves live quite disparate lives, both as mortals and voidsent. I suppose it is rather fortuitous that they crossed paths with such powerful voidsent. But more importantly, what they could offer was worthy of our bargain. For that, I am glad. All that remains now is for us to rejoin and become whole again. Huh? Is this not all of me? There can be no other explanation. There's still more of me lost out there somewhere. But I don't sense them. Where could they have gone? I mean, there's more of them wandering about by the sisters. Very least, if what you say is true, they pose no threat to the people. Till the others can be found, we will keep these 5 under our care. Should I sense the others nearby, I hope we can count on you to find them too. And so that was the Endwalker quest Shadowed Past. Thank you for joining us here today for this little video here on YouTube. Hopefully we'll see you again either for another videos here on YouTube or maybe one of our mini streams over on Twitch. It's the same channel name. Till then though, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.